Hey, how you all doing? This is Kareem Kanston, the encourager, and I'm here to encourage you in any situation. And so I just wanted to say hello, good day. How you doing? I've been doing a series all about being encouraged in any situation, being encouraged in any situation. And so I am here to motivate you, to inspire you to move towards your destiny. And we need to be encouraged every single day. My name is Kareem Kanston. I am the encourager, and I'm here to encourage you and inspire you to move towards your destiny. Now, listen, I don't know about you, but listen, I need to be encouraged every single day. I don't know how to say it, but every single person needs some encouragement. Every single person needs to hear someone to say, listen, it's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. You can make it. No matter what you're going through, it will be okay. And so I've been doing a series all about being encouraged in any situation, being encouraged in any situation. And I post a topic and I give you 3 points about being encouraged about a certain situation. And so today's topic is about being encouraged in failure part three. So I've done two topics about being encouraged in any situation about failure. I did a part one. I did a part two. Hey, Kiana, thank you for watching. Listen, give me some thumbs up, give me some feedback, hit me all in the comments, share this video right now because I think, and no, I don't think, I know that every time that I give an encouragement topic, that it will help somebody. Listen, my name is Kareem Kanston, and I am the encourager. And so today's topic is about being encouraged in failure part two. So being encouraged in failure part three. Excuse me, I did part two already. So being encouraged in failure part three. So I did a part one, I did a part two, and now this is part three. And so the reason why I wanted to share about this topic is that I've been thinking about it for a while, and also I was motivated to talk about failure. And so sometimes we don't want to talk about our failure, but sometimes when you talk about it, let people know about it, actually it will help them out. All right. And so many times you hear people saying, I messed up in this area, or I screwed up this and I screwed up that, and I didn't get this right. I should have applied for that job because now I'm stuck in my current job. And so today's topic is all about failure part three. And so let me just recap what part one failure was about. It was about failure, my failure in certain areas. Over the last couple of years, I had faced some failures, some things that I did not want to see happen. But listen, I had to understand that just because I might have failed in the area, I don't give up on myself. And so part one shared about a little about talking about failure. I also want to give you those 3 points for part one. Part one, 3 points was that you need to acknowledge your failure. You need to acknowledge your failure. Some people don't want to come to grips that they might have failed. All right. Two from part one was don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on somebody just because they made a mistake or they failed. Don't give up. Tomorrow, you need to start moving towards your destiny. All right. So that was point number two from part one. And point number three was you need to learn from your failure. If you haven't learned from your failure, then actually you might make that mistake again. All right. And so you have to learn from your failure. All right. And you might have to put some things in place to say, all right, I messed up in this area. I need to get back on track. I need to make a different change in my life. I need to might get a personal coach or a business coach, or I need to have an accountability partner saying, listen, what you're doing, you're off. You need to get back on track on this. So that was part one. And part two, I talked about my story $1 million in debt, about owning a couple of investment properties where I received the properties, signed the mortgage note, I put in an offer, and then those investment properties, when the market started to shift in the late 2000s, right? It started to get hard, and your tenants stopped paying, and then now you have to make a decision. And so I talked about how I was close to $1 million in debt and invested in these properties, but I also had to do some things to get out of that failure. All right. And so feel good when you're going through situations, you're going through issues. But let me tell you something, that sometimes you have to do certain things to get out of that failure. All right. And so in part 2 of failure, I gave 3 points. Number 1 was you need to forgive yourself. I told people that you need to say, your name, forgive myself for this thing. All right. Because sometimes we're looking for someone to say it's going to be all right, but that day might never happen. But you need to say it to yourself. You forgive yourself for that failure. Yes, you might have messed up in a certain area, but that doesn't mean you need to be stuck in that area. Listen, I don't know about you, but there's many people that I talk to. They might be 40, they might be 50, they might be 60, 70 years old. They might be 20 in their past. They're still living in 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Oh, I should have did this, I should have did that. If I would have done this, then my life will be better. But truly, your life will be better once you get past your past. And sometimes you got to leave your past in the past and move forward. And that is acknowledging, I forgive myself. You might just want to say that to yourself right now. I forgive myself for that failure. Right? I forgive myself for making that issue. Well, guess what? Sometimes the failure that comes and attacks you wasn't your mistake. All right? It wasn't your mistake. It just so happened you might have just been there. It might have just been timing. It just might have been that you were a part of something. And so I had someone tell me a couple months ago that, Kareem, it wasn't your fault. You were a part of it. All right? And you are responsible for this issue. And so, but you have to do something about that. So if you continue to allow yourself to sit back and marinate that failure and allow bitterness to set in you, guess what? You're holding that thing and you need to release it and move on. So part 2, point number 1 was forgive yourself. So listen, please forgive yourself. I mean, you don't have to take 10 or 5 or 20 things. You might just need to do one thing and say, I forgive myself for this issue. So I had to say to myself, I forgive myself for getting into close to $1 million in debt and trying to invest in properties that I should have been putting more money down on the properties, right? And so, or I should have had I always have a backup plan, but I need to have a backup plan to the backup plan to the backup plan to the backup plan. And so you need to forgive yourself. Just because you failed in an area doesn't mean that is all over. All right. So in part 2, point number 1 was forgive yourself. I don't know why I keep on saying that, but I just feel that I need to tell people, you need to tell yourself, I forgive myself for this issue. All right. Part 2, point number 2 was focus on the future, not your past. Focus on the future, not your past. I've been listening to a CD by a lady named Christine Kane, and she says, listen, let me tell you, you need to get past your past because your past will be living in your today and in your tomorrow. So you need to focus on your future and move past your past. And now it might be easy just to say that, but it's not easy going through it. All right. But you have to acknowledge that your past is the past. You screwed up on something and you need to move forward. All right. Point number 3 in part 2 is that you need to free yourself. You need to free yourself. And freeing yourself from that failure means that you gotta move on. You have to, shake it off, get back up, and keep on moving again. There's many people that that you might know or currently right now, they don't even want to come out their house because they're depressed. They don't want to face the next day. They don't want to face the next hour. They don't want to face the next second or the minute. And so you have to move past your past, right? And you have to be free from that thing. All right. So if you're not free from it, then that thing is holding you back. You see it many times where people work out and they have a rope behind them and they have a weight or something that they're pulling. Just imagine you keep on putting weights on it, right? And that's what happens when you actually don't allow yourself to be free from your failure. All right. TD Jakes gave a great sermon talking about, don't lose your head. And in the sermon, he talks about you're only free when you get past that thing. All right. And so you need to be free and free indeed. Listen, you need to move on from that thing. You need to acknowledge it and say, listen, I have to move on. And so that was part one. I just recapped part one of failure, part two of failure. And so today I'm going to share with you part three and being encouraged in failure. And really, I'm going to release a series and it's going to be titled The Art of Failing. The Art of Failing. You probably say, what? Why should you have an art of failing? I was in a president of a university president a couple of weeks ago, and he said, listen, university, I want students to fail as much as they can. All right. And so the reason why I want them to fail, because I want them to learn from that failure. If they don't learn from the failure, they can't move on. They can't understand this topic. They can't understand why this business failed if the business hasn't failed already. All right. So what you're going through, somebody else has been through already. So it's your house. Yes, you might have got your car repossessed. Yes, you might have screwed up your credit. Yes, you might have messed up that job and you didn't come in on time when you should have been coming on time. Yes, you might have said something and hurt somebody and now they don't want to talk to you. But that doesn't mean that you give up. All right. That doesn't mean that you just pack it in and give up. Listen, you got to keep on moving. You got to keep on moving. Listen, thank you very much for whoever's watching, live. For those that can be watching after this is recorded, listen, send me some comments. Let me know what you think. Share this video, right? Give me a share the video. Let people know what's happening. So part three of failing is we're gonna dive a little bit deeper. All right. I said in part two, I gave my story about being close to $1 million in debt in investment properties, in trying to invest and trying to make a quick buck, but really wasn't trying to work that I was taught. And so I had to acknowledge certain things. And so the reason why I'm sharing about this topic and I'm making this series is because so many of us, including myself, we hold ourselves back because we don't move from our failure. We beat ourselves up every single day. You should have did this. You should have did that. But you have to say to yourself, I'm going to move past this thing because there's greatness in you. All right. And you have to start working towards your destiny. Listen, if that business failed, you could start another business. All right. If you didn't complete something, you can start over again. All right. If you haven't finished your education and you keep on saying, I haven't finished because of XYZ, listen, you can move past that and say, I'm going to finish this thing. All right. I might have started 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but this is going to be my year. All right. And so you need to say that to yourself. This is going to be my year to make some movement in my life. Listen, my mission in life is to encourage and develop people to move towards their destiny. That's what my mission is. And so I need to be doing that every day. So today's topic is being encouraged in failure, part three. All right. And so the first thing you need to do, point number one, is that you need to change your mindset. All right. You need to change your mindset. What you've been thinking, what you've been saying is going to live in your life. And so what you think and what you say, you have to change the way you think. And so that's point number one. Change your mindset. You know what? When I need to change my mindset, I do certain things. All right. I start reading certain books. I start listening to certain CDs. All right. And so, right now I'm playing a couple of CDs because I want to change my mindset. I want to get back into my mindset about investing and about being debt free. And so I'm listening and reading to Dave Ramsey, his Financial Peace University. Again, I probably bought it, but I need to change my mindset about, and I need to get back to, listen, I've committed myself that I will be debt free. That means that all my bills will be paid off. And listen, I already got a win in a couple of months ago when I paid off one of my debts, and I'm not serving to the lender. Thank you for those hearts, Brother Ron. And so listen, you need to change your mindset. And you probably say, I wake up every day, I don't even know what I should be doing. Guess what? You need to change your mindset. Changing your mindset means that you have to start reading and listening to things that are going to put you in focus to what your destiny is. So listen, I'm also reading and listening to Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote a great book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I have to listen and read things to change my mindset, all right? And also when I would need to fill myself spiritually, of course, I am reading and listening to the Bible, all right? That is the number one best-selling book in the world, and really should be the number one book that you should crack open every single day, a couple of times a day, because listen, if you're not feeding your spiritual man, it's feeding you, all right? You might be, listen, you turn on the TV nowadays and you have cable, there's like 1,000 channels. So if you're feeding yourself with that stuff, okay, which, people don't stay up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But if you're feeding yourself with the TV, that's going to be your mindset, right? If you're filling yourself with good stuff, that's going to be your mindset. But you're filling yourself with garbage will come out of you, all right? And so you are what you think, all right? You are what you think. So you need to change your mindset, all right? So that's point number one in part 3 of being encouraged in failure. You got to change your mindset, all right? If you want to be a scholar, you need to start listening to scholars. If you want to be better at somebody, you need to start reading and listening to those things. Remember, I didn't like to read when I was a young boy, all right? I didn't like to read at all. But someone told me, listen, Kareem, if you're not reading the paper each day, guess what? You're not actually making your mind to increase its knowledge. And so you need to start reading every single day, Kareem. That's what they told me. So I've been reading, my wife talks about me all the time because I'm looking at the news because, I used to read the news. Now I listen to it mostly and read it online, or I look at CNN. And so you got to change your mindset. That's that's point number 1 of part 3, all right? Number 2 is that you need to change your environment. Whoa. A lot of people's not going to like it. You need to change your environment. Who are you hanging around? Where are you living? Where's your business located? Where's your job located? All right? You are your environment. Listen, I did some research about chameleons and how they change their colors and their body colors and stuff. And so it's very interesting what they said. It said chameleons change colors themselves and hide from predators. Is believe that they change their colors to reflect their moods. All right, so they change their colors to match their environment and reflect their moods, but also, it also says that sometimes chameleons, they don't change their color to fit the environment. They change their color to be a part of the environment based on the temperature. That's very, very interesting. So you probably need to do a temperature check. What are you around? All right? Who are you around? You say you want to be an investor, but are you around investors? You say you want to be a college educated person, but are you around college educated people? You say you want to own a business, are you around business owners? All right. You say you want to do these things around the environment to put you in position and to understand the knowledge and the skills that you need to get to where you need to be. You say you want to be a politician, but are you talking to politicians? All right. And so you need to change your environment. Listen, I grew up in an urban environment in New York City, in Queens, New York. And listen, one of the things that I was faced with many times is that I saw people my age when I was a teenager and as a young adult, they didn't make it past their 25th birthday. Now they got, something horrible happened to them. I remember going into school many of times where it used to take me 2 to 3 hours just to get in school because there was a metal detector. So that would tell you straight up, this environment is no joke. People are carrying weapons in here, and we need to make sure that this environment is safe. All right. And so going through that, I had to say to myself, I need the first chance I get, I need to remove myself from this environment and to go someplace else. So before I was 18, I said, listen, I'm gonna move out of New York so I could see something different. All right. So listen, if you're watching this live or if you're watching this after it was recorded, listen, share it. Give me some likes, give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts, and let me know what you think. Put some comments there. So point number 2 was you got to change your environment. Plain and simple. You want to do something, change your environment, right? I'm in a group right now that I've been networking with them since 7-8 years. The people don't look like me. They're not in my same age category, my neighborhood, right? They are in a different income bracket than I am, all right? Their race is different. How they talk is different. The things they care about is different than me. And listen, I am in that group. Actually, aspire to some of the things that they do currently. All right. But also, I want their knowledge and their understanding. But if I'm not in a different group, then people I'm hanging around, then my group is just like me. So guess what? You might need to change your group. You might need to write down, I go to this place every single week, and these are the people that are not going to push me towards my destiny. All right. It might be good to hang around folks off and on, but listen, if they're not pushing you forward, if they're not encouraging you, if they're not saying, listen, this is what you can do, if they're not showing you what they've been through or some tips and some good things about their life, then really, what are you doing? I don't know about you, but if you listen to some crazy music every single day, you will start singing that music. If you listen to the good music, you start singing that good music. So what is your environment saying about you? Check. So point number 1 of part 3 was change your mindset, change how you think. Point number 2 was you need to change your environment. All right. Listen, I'm not saying that you need to pack up your apartment, your house, and move right now, but sometimes that might need to happen. It might where you're at is probably in a crisis mode, and you just need to get out of that place right now and get to a new place. All right. Listen, I lived in 14 plus different places from age 0 to 18. Right. And so going through, moving to different places and being in a lot of crazy places, I said, listen, my environment going forward after age 18 has to be stable. All right. I need to be in a place where I know that I'm comfortable, I'm safe, and I could do what I have to do to finish my education. All right. So point number 3 is that you need to change your future. You need to change your future. Your future is the next second. Your future is the next minute. It's the next hour. It's the next day. It's the next month. It's the next week. It's the next year. You need to change your future. And so how you change your future, you stop talking about what you're going to do and you're going to do it. And so your future should be really about doing good things and reaching your destiny. So if your future has some bad things in there, listen, I don't want to even hear it. Strike those things out. And let's talk about the good things that you're working on to reach towards your destiny. So point number 3 was change your future. All right? Change your future. That's right, Brother Ron. As a man thinks, so he is. All right? And so you need to change your future. And changing your future means that you need to take action right now to move towards your destiny. Listen, stop saying you're going to apply for a job. Stop saying you're going to open up a business and start doing it. Right? I'd rather try than just say, well, I might have done this. You know, one of the things my wife talks about me all the time is like, "Free man, you say something and you do it. Always be, the best way. But guess what? You did it. You know, you say you was going to invest in properties, you did it. Yes, you might have messed up with some, but listen, you still got some property now, right? And you still have some income, some passive income coming from property now. So listen, yes, you might have messed up on certain things, but listen, you got to keep on moving. All right. So you got to change your future. You know, if you want to be a singer, you got to be around singers. Just don't be singing in the mirror. After a while, you have to be around people that have that experience, that have that knowledge. So you have to change your future. You know, there's many people that talk to me, and I do a lot of business consulting, and people say, listen, I'm looking to grow my business. And I'm like, all right, I can work with you. But then when we get down to the nitty gritty, they don't want to do the work. They don't want to put it in action. And so they talk about growing a business, but they never put the things in action. And so what I tell them straight up, listen, I am here to help you to grow your business. If you don't want to do that, then I'm not the person to help you out. If you want to be stable, if you want to be stagnant, if you want to stay where you are, help you. I'm all about growth. I'm all about moving forward. And so you need to change your future, right? Thank you, Shakira, for that encouraging, right? You have to change your future. I don't know how much, I don't know how to say, you just got to stop saying that I'm going to live around the world. If you haven't started putting plans down for it, please. One of the things that I did a couple of months ago, a person said, listen, if there was no obstacles in your life, what would you do? One of the things I said, I would live in the Caribbean. For real, I'm serious. And so what have I been doing since then? I have been starting to plan, how can I live in the Caribbean? I have friends there, right? So if I need a place to stay, I have people that can tell me where I can live, right? I have people that can tell me, should I rent? Should I buy? How should I do this? They doing it already, right? And so that's one of my goals, and it's gonna happen. Listen, I don't plan on living there, throughout the whole 12 months, but I plan on living there off and on. But listen, that's one of the things I'm gonna do. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna live in the Caribbean. For real, I've been planning for it, right? I've been scoping out places right now and looking at, if I make this and how do we do this, let's make it happen. But if you don't start moving towards your future is never gonna come to pass. All right. So don't give up on yourself, right? You have to move to the next level. And every time that I've been talking about failure, I share some quotes from some people. So J.K. Rowling says, it is impossible to live without failing at something. Unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all. You have failed by default. All right. That's what J.K. Rowling said. Amelia Earhart says, please know that I am aware of the hazards. I want to do it because I want to do it. Women must try to do things as men have tried. When they fail, their failure must be a challenge to others. All right. Oh, thank you for posting that scripture, Brother Ron. Proverbs 29:18. Create a new vision. Where there's no vision, the people are unrestrained, but happy is he who keeps the law. And so that's very interesting because I was just going to talk about vision, right? So you got to move towards your future. Dale Carnegie says, develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. And so, just like my brother Ron has posted, you have to have vision. You have to have clarity of 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 your future. All right. Vision is all about looking at the best and the good things about your future. Vision is about looking at the best and the good things about your future. If you don't have vision, then really you can't see into the future. You're just going, you're reacting to stuff. All right. My car broke down. You react to the car. Oh, I can't believe this happened. But if you plan for the car to break down, if you put it in your budget, then it wouldn't be a reaction. It would be, we planned for this. All right. And so it feels good when you can say, we planned for this. We planned for this craziness. We planned for this issue. And so when you look into the future, your vision should be lined up with what your purpose is. All right. You have to have purpose in life. That's the reason why I even started to share videos on Facebook. Someone said to me, Kareem, I think you really need to share some encouraging words. Somebody needs to hear what you have to say about some situations. And because you're encouraging to me and encouraging to others, you don't know who might need that encouragement one day. You don't know who might need encouragement about some of the topics I talked about: debt and marriage and life and vision and purpose and mission. You don't know who's watching. And so you don't know who's watching you. And that's why you should be encouraged that just because you failed, somebody is looking at your failure to see how you're going to move past it. Somebody is watching you and saying, oh, they had a terrible time at that. But somebody also is watching how you're going to move past this thing. Right? If you have kids, your kids are probably watching you. What are you doing? Right? They're looking at how you cook, how you clean, how you talk, who you hang around with, right? And so if they see what you're doing, they probably going to do the same thing. So you got to get your stuff together. You have to get past this failure. You have to say enough is enough. I'm tired of being living in the past. I'm tired of living in when I'm age 12 or age 13 or thinking about how I was brought up or my parents didn't tell me about this, or I didn't even know my parents, or I knew my father and know my mother. You have to say, I'm tired of being in failure mode. You just might need to say that right now. You might listen. If there's people around, you might just, I'm not saying scream, but you just might need to say, listen, I'm tired of being in failure. Listen, I am tired of being in failure. I don't know about you, but when your facts are being put in front of you and you don't want to hear it, kind of tune things out. Listen, get past that failure. Yes, somebody might know your background. Somebody might know your failure, but who cares? Listen, you just got to move past that thing. You have to say enough is enough about this issue. Yes, I might have screwed up my credit. Yes, I might have screwed up my house. Yes, I might have screwed up my bank account. Yes, I might have screwed up something in my life, but that doesn't mean I have to live in my past. And so listen, I'm going to recap these points again for part 3 of failing. Point number 1 is that you got to change your mindset. All right. What you've been thinking, you have to change your thoughts. All right. And how to change your mindset, you need to start reading and listening to things that get you back on course. And I share with you that, I'm changing my mindset, getting back to my, being financially free. I'm reading Dave Ramsey, Financial Peace University, listening to the CDs, and Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? And so that's point number 1, change your mindset. Point number 2 is that you got to change your environment. You have to change your environment. All right? Change your environment. All right? Also, you have to change your future. Your future is upon you. It's going to creep up on you so fast, and you're going to be like, wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Brother Ron. Dope and inspiring. I like that. I might have to use that for a topic. Listen, you have to change your mindset. I don't know how to say it, but you got to change your mindset, change your environment, change your future. Your future is here right now. It's not coming tomorrow. It's not coming next week. Your future is right here. As soon as we pass 1 second, boom, the future is here. It's your present day. So listen, send me, inbox me of some topics that you also want me to encourage you about. Put some comments in the comment section. Also have a free opportunity for everyone that has watched this video live or after it was live. So my mother-in-law wrote a book. Her name is Colleen Pierce, and the book is titled "Encourage Yourself in the Lord." All right, encourage yourself in the Lord. And so this is a free book that the link should be in the post. I also will put it in the comment section. Also, if you fill out that small form, you'll get the download to the book. And also, when you fill out the form, you will get a 15% discount from my book my wife and I wrote called Walk Through the Doors That God Has Opened for You, a 365-day daily devotional. It's a working devotional book. And really, we wrote it because we were inspired by the Holy Spirit that people need encouragement. And it's a working book. You got to get it. We give you a scripture. We give you some what we thought that God was talking to us, and then you got to do notes. So listen, be inspired today. If you're married, be inspired in your marriage, right? Tell your spouse, honey, everything's going to be all right. Even though it might not even feel right now, everything's going to be all right. I don't know how it's going to be all right. I don't know how we're going to make this change, but we're going to make this change because I'm not going to live in my past, right? I'm not going to live in my failure. So listen, I want to thank you all for watching. Listen, go fill out that form, get the free book, encourage yourself in the Lord, and get that 15% discount for our devotional book. And listen, be blessed. Be blessed. Thank you all very much. Talk to you soon.